If you're working out and you want to build good muscle and you want to be, and you can't quite, I mean, for the average person, I'm going to say this because I can tell you, up in the high fruitarian levels, the strength is phenomenal. The agility, the power comes in from ways that you can't even describe. The average person has no clue to what that even means. So, with that said, if you're a bodybuilder, you're a trainer, you want to work out, keep a nice body, make sure you fix malabsorption, proteins, you got to get away from that concept of protein. That's a medical concept, and the protein has done nothing but hurt humans, so not help them. If you go back, take a look at protein diets, it has done nothing but hurt us, not help us. What kind of supplements would you recommend, if any, for a bodybuilder like Guy? Asking because I have been working out for 7 years. Pump a lot of alfalfa juice. Get like the superfood blend. Got everything in there, and the cats meow. And make sure your kidneys are filtering again, moving your lymph system, because as you create acidosis from all your activity and working out, you've got to be able to remove them. It doesn't matter what level you want to build up, but you still got to be able to move your systemic acids. If you can't, you're just, even in a raw food, you're going to get to a certain point and you're still going to have some serious joint problems coming, because you've got to remove the acids you create. It's that simple. And that's a kidney and adrenal issue. With that said, once that's up, then your nervous system will be up, and then you just tear into this and build some good muscle. You want to have a clean body, and you'll have some of the strongest muscles anyone's ever seen. That's the best way to do this. You can pump the avocados and things like this. Also, people have told me that we have to eat meat because of the B12. And here's that B12 crap again. I can tell you, you can go back and forth the B12 thing. You know, you have those that say it's fruits and vegetables. Now, B12 to me is a cofactor. It isn't an actual vitamin that you get in foods. It is a byproduct of metabolism. So, you know, that again, I don't even play in that world. I don't even go there because it's not even worth it. My client, I see tons and tons of blood work here. And when you're detoxing on a good diet, your adrenals are working and metabolizing properly, your B12s will be proper. I've been listening to Dr. Morse's videos. I think they're interesting. Oh, I hope so. But I have a question about building muscles. Since I'm a weightlifter, we eat we eat high protein to build bigger muscles. How can one build big, lean muscles from eating fruits all day long? I don't think it's possible. Do you think you or Dr. Morse can address this for athletes? Jay. Hey, Jay, no, you know what? If you look at the mountain gorillas, I have to admit they're bulkier than the orangutans. I can't tell you which is stronger, because an orangutan is a fiercely strong animal. But they have the same bodies pretty close as we do. All the primates are the closest of our species, of any of the species. So I can tell you that I know people, long-term fruitarians, extremely strong. Extremely strong. And there's a strength about a muscle that is more than neurological. I just can't even describe it to you, because as you guys get up there and you remove the obstruction to the flow of energy, you'll feel this God force flowing in you, and your muscles will just become extremely strong from this God force. And you just, as the blood moves and the lymph moves, you'll find these muscles become strong and not so bulky. If you're looking for bulk muscle, then I would definitely do it on superfood blends. Because Jay, I'm telling you, man, I've had so many pro bodybuilders in here that will tell you it's not worth it with the rheumatoid arthritis, the RAs, the loss of joints, the suffering, the extreme pain and suffering and loss of mobility they go through, not worth it. And the loss of kidneys and dialysis, not worth it. And the loss of calcium in connective tissue is just not worth it, Jay. It's just not worth it. You want power muscles, not big, strong, bulky, a martial artist can kick my butt muscle, you know. You want flexibility, you want strength, you want endurance. And those are all the things an athlete. If you go for the view, I don't know what to tell you. But all the animals build muscles on the raw. You pump proteins, you lose. Get away from the proteins. They're stinky, they're acidic, and they're just what the body gets rid of. And when you go on a raw diet, you'll lose them. I tell when a bodybuilder comes in here, I'm saying, I'm sorry, man, kiss those sweethearts goodbye. You're going to have to start all over again. So if you can find a balance, you can probably keep them, but your balance has to be between green juices and fruits and work yourself through that. I am also a fitness nut. Good, man. Then shift away from protein. Man, we're talking about fitness, how to build up the right way. Use the alfalfas to build those muscles. Use the greens to build those muscles. But make sure you have absorption. And this is another thing with tonsillitis. The question is, do you have malabsorption? That would be the lymphatic system all backing up all the way. And you got to take a look at that. Because if your tonsillitis swells up here a lot, you could be backed up all the way down the gut. And so that could be malabsorption, and you're trying to build up and trying to put muscles on, but protein muscles go. They're the first to leave you when you are eating normally or in the health. You notice that if you build big muscles, if you don't keep it going, they go right away because they're not real. They're fake, they're false, basically. You put them on wrong. You want to build up right. You want to build up with power. You want to build up with endurance. You want to build up with energy. That's raw, baby.
Superfood.
Superfood blend.
In, yeah.
Oh, a superfood blend, man. It's a killer, baby. But those are the kind of things you want to do. Pump alfalfa juice or alfalfa sprouts and things like this. But fix some things first. You know, get your lymph system cleaned up first. Even though it might take you down a little skinny, and if you're malabsorbed, maybe a little skinnier than you would like. Okay, fix it. You know what you're on. You're on a journey to Wellville. Get past this initial stage where you're opening up your kidney filtration, you're getting your lymph nodes cleaned, you're getting your body cleaned, and then go for it, baby. Start building, start growing, but keep it raw and keep it high, because let me tell you, on a fruitarian diet, power will come into those muscles like you've never seen. I don't care if you have vegetables too and you build up with alfalfa, who cares? But get that body up there, get those adrenals up there, the nerve to the muscles. That's another thing you got to realize. A lot of people feel weak because their nervous system is down from the adrenals, and they feel weak in the muscles when it's the nervous system that's down. The strongest animals in the jungle basically are the herbivores and the frugivores. The primates, nobody messes with primates, not much. And then, of course, a lion has to be awful hungry to even think about an ape. And then your bigger, your horses, your cows, your elephants, your rhinos. These boys don't take no crap, and yet they're loving people. That's the beauty of being off of protein. It changes this. Man's got to get away from these meat diets to start finding love. Anytime you give energy away to any part of your body except for muscle and that sort of thing, you're going to lose power. So don't put power in the digestive tract when you need it to the muscles. All I can say is that there's so many reasons why that you would not do proteins. And I can tell you, there was a mention about bodybuilders in here. I've got a bodybuilder right now that if you mention high protein diets, he'd probably cock you. He's just one of many that I have, professional athletes that now have rheumatoid arthritis. A couple of them are in surgeries now because of what the proteins did to the kidneys and the effect that backed up into the lymph system, creating extreme acidosis, the extreme loss of calcium, and the loss of bone tissue, and then the end result of extreme body pain. Arnold Schwarzenegger is another example of that process. Some of these people have had to have open heart and stuff like that. There is absolutely no bona fide conclusion that one would have a high protein diet. It doesn't fit in our species. It doesn't fit in chemistry. It's the acid side of chemistry. It doesn't fit in any shoe that you put it on. It doesn't fit anywhere. It's one thing to see a 7-day study. It's another thing to spend 40 years and 150,000 clients. And I look at all these long-term studies that relate to what happens to proteins on people. I want all my clients and my friends and my people off of protein, and you'll see the big difference that it makes in your health, and then go back on protein and show you what happens. People just love to dig into this protein myth, and I suggest you lose that myth and that you get into the foods that are designed for the human body. Regardless of what we've been doing to ourselves genetically, we have to reverse that. We have a serious genetic problem in our children, and we have to reverse that. And you can't reverse that on proteins. I've never seen protein rebuild the human body from a point of disease. I've never seen. You put a cancer, this is what medical doctors do. They put you on chemo, and then they put you on high protein diets. You rarely, 2% maybe, come out of that alive. You put people on raw fruits and vegetables, and you're way up there. And if you use the herbs, you're up at 95% come out of it. That's a lie. If I was in Las Vegas and I'm gambling, and I could gamble here, I've got 95% chance I'm going to win $1 million. Over here, I've got 2 or 3% chance I'm going to win $1 million. I don't think that really gives, I think it's obvious which way you're going to go. And I'm going to tie this into this bodybuilder here that's pumping protein powders. Appreciate that question. In all seriousness here, protein powders will damage the kidneys big time. I have a lot of young guys between 25 and 35, some of them already on dialysis, and a lot of them heading toward kidney failure, creatinine in the blood going way up from the damage protein has on these tissues. Remember, protein is more phosphorus, nitrogen, acidic. And, of course, the body needs to be more base or alkaline chemistry. And putting these kind of chemistry in the blood continues to leach calcium out of the tissues. And then, of course, long-term effect on the kidneys is not real pleasant. And so you'll notice that in bodybuilders, they'll get a rheumatoid arthritis is the most popular, but all the arthritises, osteo and stuff, they lose their bones, they lose their joints, they lose their hips. And this is all from the high proteins. And of course, bye-bye kidneys. Well, bye-bye kidneys, bye-bye adrenals, bye-bye nervous system. It just has a residual kick all through the human body. If you want to pump up on anything, pump up on green juices. You know, I'm an old farm boy kind of guy. We raised horses. Me and my sister always raced horses and stuff. And we pumped them up with alfalfa. I'm an alfalfa fan in that respect. So lots of alfalfa. You can really pump alfalfa, pump kelp to keep the calcium up, the thyroid pumped up, pump up your adrenals. Also at the same time, remember that you might not have the bulk. It is better to have a little less bulk and more power and more flexibility. Because the more bulky muscles, you're going to lose them anyway when you detox, guaranteed. Inferior cells leave, so you're going to lose them anyway, and you're going to get stiff and tight, and you're not going to have the flexibility, say, a martial artist would have. And so if you keep that in an alkaline building, you'd be better off. And pump the greens. Just pump the greens. I don't care, spinach, dandelion greens. Pump the greens that not only have nutrition, but that also get into tissue and build them up, like the adrenals. Dandelion green, high in nutrition, pumps up your adrenals and the kidneys. You definitely like the fruit because of the ease of digestion. You're going to get your carbon for your ATP. You're going to get your flavonoids for the vascular integrity. You're going to get your astringents to keep the lymph system moving. You're going to get the magnetics to keep the nervous system moving. And you can just go on and on and on. So this is the beauty of it. And especially for a Homo sapien, that is going for endurance. If you're going for muscle building, then pump the greens, no question. And alfalfa would be at the top of my list for pumping muscle on, no question. But detox first. Always detox first in that vein. This is a site for detoxification. But in terms of endurance and bodybuilding, when you remove obstructions out of the body, then you remove the resistance. And when you remove the resistance, energy just flows more. And in electrical work, you're always looking at resistances, and you're always looking at these sort of things.